Good morning all, or evening, wherever you are in the wonderful world of rugby. Episode 7, our results episode, our results show for the week, as we are now going to come to you 2 times a week, courtesy of course, Foursquare friends Joseph. Thank you again for our sponsoring the show. And so get on down there, get all your groceries and stuff like that, and visit them on the old Facebook as well. So, as I said, it is episode 7. We changed it up last week, having the doing the show on Thursday as well now, after the team announcements. Makes it life a little bit easier. Mike may join me, he may not, I don't know. Donnie might join, but if not, it's pretty much a results show on a Tuesday now, and any other breaking news that might come out. Of course, everyone's on tenterhooks waiting for the All Black coaches announcement. Another local news here, the New Zealand Rugby Players Association have come to an agreement with the NZR. It's great to see that the girls in Super Rugby or Picky are getting a bit of a pay rise. A little confused by the those based in hubs get 25 grand base salary, and those outside the hubs get 20 grand. I thought that would have been flipped around, because the other ones would have to travel to the hub. So I guess all that means is Auckland, Wellington, Canterbury are going to be much stronger. Waikato are going to be much stronger come Farah Palmer Cup time later in the season. Also, we have seen a Heartland draw, and but it's not. It's all embargoed at the moment. And so, what do you think of embargoes, Mr. Mike Sheehan? Good morning.
Morning. What are we talking about here?
Well, I've seen a draw for Heartland, and we can't say anything because it's still got to be finalised. But I do know one thing. There was the possibility of a super round later in the season. I won't say when, because then people can put 2 and 2 together of when and what games they are. But later in the season at Takaha Stadium. But apparently it didn't suit Canterbury or Tasman.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I've spoken to a number of people that have seen the draw and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we'll just wait and see. But it looks, from what I've seen, it looks all right.
Yeah. Well, it does look all right, and the teams get to travel around a bit, so that's always good for all of them as well. So, but otherwise, I was just saying, pretty much today's a results show. And we'll come back on Thursday with all the team lists. But so basically what we'll do is we'll jump straight into it. What did you think of the results in the weekend? So we started off, I know you're a happy camper. I'm not. I crashed and burned. Even though I am in the top 200 of the world in fantasy rugby, I'm pretty happy about that. But the Hurricanes, wow, 52-10 over Moana Pacifica. I think that's on the back of 2 60-plus point wins, isn't it? And it was a bit tough. We thought it would be for Moana to come back from Fiji to Wellington on Friday night. And, it was a bit of a shame to see Brett Cameron go down injured. What is it with first fives and Wellington?
Yeah, it was probably a result to be expected. Moana had a tough travel schedule from the week before, though. But no, it was good for the Hurricanes to get their campaign off the ground. Thoughts are with Brett Cameron, it didn't look good. Wouldn't surprise me if it's a season-ending injury, but we'll just have to wait and see and let the medical professionals do their thing.
Yeah, well, it was good to see Callum Harkin come back, move to first five. He does play for Wellington Lions at first five, so it wasn't like throwing the guy into the deep end, and he performed very admirably. But I suppose the thing out of that whole game was sure there was some fun interviews at the end of the game with Tana Umanga and Christian Cullen. But did you hear what Lima Sopawanga said when they said, oh no, who are they going to get as the first five? And then he jumped in and said, I'll lace my boots up. I'm ready.
Oh,
Why not? No, I mean,
no.
I literally would like to call him out on that. Why not? He played well with Waikato in the NPC last season. He's still fit, rearing to go. He's got the nous. Why not?
Yeah, well, if he wants to, if he wants to put his money where his mouth is, well, good on him. But yeah, it's obviously a concerning time for the coaching staff having to find someone to slip in there. But I've already got my suspicions as to who it may be. But we'll just need to wait and see.
Yeah.
I'd expect an injury update within the next day or two, hopefully today.
Yeah, well, I know Ruben Love was out for about 4 to 6 weeks, so and I'm sure Lima will probably want to sign a bigger contract, more than $1, like he signed for Waikato famously last year. But it was a good way for Wellington to kick off. I mean, it was a bit of a shock at the start there when a great try by Tuna Tuatamama getting over the line there in early doors. But then, the Hurricanes, they've been playing a different sort of they played a different sort of rugby to all the other games we've seen. They had less kicking in it. Did you notice that?
Yep.
So
yeah, it was good for them to get their campaign off the ground and get some miles into the leagues. But I'm obviously heading for another important game this week.
Oh, totally. And we will get to that. I mean, we'll have a swip through that. If you've got any questions as well, don't forget, no QR codes here. What's happened there? Did that go to the top? Oh, I didn't realise we had a top thing happening on here now. Hang on, I'll just push that back to the bottom because I don't want to block out our awesome sponsor, Franz Joseph Foursquare. There we go. No QR codes required. Just jump on in, people, and we'll answer any questions you may have. But yes, so the Hurricanes looking good. Moving forward, the Waratahs. Jorgensen, isn't he having a blinder of a start for the season? 4 tries, I think it is now, in 2 games. The Drua just couldn't get into it. And as we did predict, the Waratahs are going to be hard to beat in Sydney.
Yeah, I picked the Waratahs to win. I'm not too sure what it was. It might have been 20 plus or 15 plus, but yeah, another good display from the Waratahs. Still cements their position at the top of the table. As for the Drua, well, yeah, I think it's going to be a long competition.
Yeah, well, because and it will be because, I mean, they've got to sort out this travel. I think they've lost now 24 out of 26 away games. It's not a record at all to be proud of. And, if they keep losing away like that, who's going to go to the matches? They want to get the numbers up at these games. But if the Drua's playing, well, you'll just go, oh, it's going to be a cakewalk for my team sort of attitude, because that's the mentality that people have. But anyway, we move on to Saturday. Oh, my God, were the Highlanders robbed?
Yeah, I'm not going to wade into it. I'm not one to lay blame on anyone or anything. But no, it was a great game of rugby. I was pretty proud of the effort. And hopefully they can get the dub this week. I think they're in with a good chance of securing a win this week. But I watched Ben Smith's stand-up media presentation yesterday, and he pretty much nailed it on the head. They weren't nailing the opportunities, and it cost them in the end, I think.
Yeah, I was pretty tongue-in-cheek by saying they were robbed. It's just that I picked the Highlanders to win it, and they so close. It was a great game. I mean, it could have been a draw, could have gone to Golden Point at one point there, etc. But, the Chiefs, to me, though, sure they got the win, and I don't think they picked up a bonus point. I'll have to double-check that when we go to the table. But they've had 2 wins, but 2 very tight wins and okay, against the Blues, yeah, it could have gone either way. They should have thought they might have had a chance against the Highlanders, who are on a high from beating the Crusaders the previous week. But still, it's not. I mean, if you look at some of these other scores here, is this what we're going to see in New Zealand derbies, discounting Moana Pacifica as a New Zealand team? Really tight, close matches.
Yeah, well, we've seen it last year for a period. You know, there were some pretty close matches and upsets, and then it kind of blew out towards the end of the competition. But yeah, I thought the Chiefs were probably could have put a few more points on the board. You know, obviously a win's a win, but whether they're happy with that or not, it's a different story. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see when Damien McKenzie's injected back into the squad. Obviously, he's on parental leave at the moment, like most of the number 10s. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see him come back, and I thought Takiaho had a great game. I think he's probably the informed hooker of the competition at the moment.
Yeah, I've had him in my fantasy team since day one, and I'm a happy camper there. Also, top 20 of the Sport Nation tipping comp, so I'm even happier about that. I think I like the old Sport Nation guys. So the Chiefs, very good. Okay, so the Blues. Now I was getting all confused because you got HBF Park, and then they were saying it's a HIF insurance policy lifetime freebie whatever park, and I thought, oh, they know, but no, it was at a different ground in Joondalup, which is outside of Perth, I believe, and it was an interesting crowd. It was a good sized crowd. There were questions on the size of the field, and I think it was just because it was a small ground, because all the fields are the same size. But the Blues were dominant against the Force. But listening to Vern Cotter at the end of that game, he wasn't happy at all.
Yeah, well, I actually picked the Fourth in this game, and I got tipped out in the previous round prior anyway. But Vern's brutally honest, and you know, if he's not happy, he's just going to come out and say he doesn't really give a fuck. But yeah, I thought what he said was pretty much bang on the head. I can't add much more to it than that.
I know. I mean, because you know they were giving away some stupid penalties. They weren't cohesive in breakdowns and stuff like that, and there's still a lot of kicking going on. Perifeta did have a good game. You've got to give him that, but no, it'll be interesting to see how they move forward. Because I mean, you know, they've let the Force put 32 points on them, which can't be a good thing. So yeah. Okay, so that was the Blues getting up over them. We won't talk much about that because I had the Force as well. And then the game, which I just thought was going to be close, and I thought, well, the Crusaders will win this, only because they've done it for the last 26 years. And they got dealt to, basically. I messaged the group saying, where's Will Jordan? I mean, for that most of that game, even though he got some good points, which I can't work out on how they actually do all their who decides on the points in the fantasy rugby competition. But, you know, at one point I did say to you guys, gee, what a time for Will Jordan to go missing. And then I looked at the fantasy points and they said he was on 60 points. And I'm thinking, he's done nothing other than maybe 3 passes. He really didn't inject himself into that game at all. But how good was it to see James Slipper go over for that opening try in his 200th game?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Legend of Australian rugby. It was great. He was loving it, lurking in the back line, waiting for the ball. But I thought the Crusaders weren't cohesive enough. They were giving away too many stupid penalties. They were dropping the ball. The Brumbies midfield is absolutely on fire, those two. But yeah, it was just Sunday afternoon footy in the sun, a couple of raros, and the Brumbies will take all sorts of confidence out of that, and the Crusaders will have to go back to the drawing board because they've got another tough match this week. But you see the Crusaders fans leaving the ground when the game wasn't even finished. So that tell you.
Yeah, I know. And then on top of that, you look at some of the tackles that were going in. I mean, poor old Cody Taylor was being bashed around the field quite a bit. And but I was sort of sitting there listening to the comments and stuff like that. Oh, I don't know. After the Blues won a couple of years ago and then went crap last year. We saw the Crusaders go crap a couple of years ago and then win last year. Now they're 0-2. I mean, we have seen the Crusaders win the championship from last place. So do we count them out yet?
I don't know if alarm bells are ringing quite yet, but it's quite interesting to read some of the comments on social media about, Crusaders start shit and they come back strong, and it's competitions aren't won in the first round. Yeah, well, that's all fair and good, but you've still got to get bank the points as you go, to keep your team up the ladder. If they lose again this week, I think it'll be a different kettle of fish. I think the pressure will be on even more, but I'd say there'll be a few questions being asked at the moment.
Yeah, and if that did happen, to all those people out there that crowed from the rooftops about Rob Penny being Coach of the Year last year, don't start now asking for his head, is what I say. Because you can see it coming. You can literally see it coming. So they're the results from last weekend. So
also, just another quick point. Brian was telling me that he was noticing the Crusaders midfield rushing up and not coming up in a line. Obviously creating gaps in the defence. Did you notice that as well, or was it just him?
Yeah. It was. They were very flat, and his, I believe, his philosophy on that is rugby league. So just note to self, when you post stuff to our private group about rugby league, be ready to get assholes from Rhodey, because he's not a happy camper on that sport at all. But yeah. I don't know. You look at the way they were performing, and as I said, there's just something missing. After watching the Hurricanes attack, right? To me, there was a lot of that non-attackness from. Sure, they were fine, but there was only like 2 or 3 occasions where they were able to get the ball out wide. Otherwise, they were through the middle, almost doing the 6 tackles and here's the ball, I did see that.
I also noticed that the Crusaders were going into a tackle with 2 men at most tackles, but they didn't keep that up the whole game. But even saying that, I thought Ethan Blackadder had another great game. He's very mobile.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, these guys at this stage don't know who the All Black coach is going to be. Nobody knows not even the NZR know who the All Black coach is going to be. So these guys have got to use this Super Rugby season to put their hand up and go, I'm ready for the new regime. Pick me. So, hey, you could see Blackadder back in the black jersey. You never know.
Last time I heard, David Kirk was in Japan.
Yeah, well, see, whatever happened to Zoom calls? That's what I just don't get.
He's probably having a holiday. He thinks he's probably over there having a holiday at the same time.
Yeah, no, because I will say it, as we have the standings sitting here, it's all good for us to be sitting here talking about Super Rugby, but we also got to look at the grassroots rugby game. And a lot of the draw that we have seen for Heartlands is based on the fact that there's no money around, right? There's no money around. How can we cut costs? How do we not have teams stay overnight? Blah, 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 blah. That incurs more cost. Yet they fly to Japan to watch a guy coach when they could either A, watch the game live or on streaming, or do an interview via Zoom. I mean, Christ, you're in Ashburton. I'm in Wellington. You know, I didn't have to fly down to interview you. You know, so all those costs come up. And am I wrong in understanding as well that David Kirk lives in Sydney?
Well, I'm not too sure. I wouldn't put it past him.
I remember hearing somewhere he lives in Sydney. Yeah, he will travel to Wellington for AGMs and all that. Well, is he digging into his own pocket to pay for that? You know, why can't we have someone based in New Zealand as the chairman of New Zealand Rugby? It just doesn't make sense to me when they go on about the costs and how much it's costing and all that. And next minute you find out NPC teams or Super Rugby teams or All Black teams have someone now that gets paid exorbitant amount of money to put a bit of tape around someone's arm. You know what I mean? It's sort of, you've got me started now. It really pisses me off. You know, they've got to have a job for every individual and then complain about we've got no money. There you go. That's my bitch moan for the week. So anyway, what we'll do is we'll look at the standings. Of course, the Brumbies are on top there, looking pretty in first place on 10 points with the Waratahs. Chiefs, Hurricanes, and the Blues. Wow, how the Blues have moved into the top 6, and then you got the Highlanders. Now, does this not look similar to last year's early season table?
Yeah, it looks very similar.
Except I think the Blues were still down the bottom somewhere, which wasn't a sad thing. Can these Aussie teams keep the pace going? Because when we look at those bottom teams there who are outside the top 6, Moana Pacifica, Crusaders, Queensland, Fiji, and Force, well, the Force are pretty much gone. I'm just going to call it now. The Drua is gone. Queensland Reds, they've got the bye this week, so they're not going to move anywhere, which is a bit of a shame. It's sort of, oh no, sorry, they had the bye last week. They're playing
they're playing on.
Yeah, sorry, I just got confused then for a second. The Crusaders, well, heck, they could just move on up, but they still got a bye round to come. Moana Pacifica, it'll be interesting to see how they go. In theory, they should beat the Force at Pukekohe this weekend. But, you know, out of those, you know, you could argue the Reds, Crusaders, and Moana Pacifica could still climb that table quite nicely.
Yeah. No, I just want the Highlanders to leapfrog the Blues, and I'll be happy. Hopefully they can get the win this weekend.
Yeah, well, a win there to the because they're playing the Brumbies, aren't they? So a win there.
No,
the Blues.
Oh no, I thought you meant the Highlanders. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, well, the Blues playing the Brumbies. Yeah, so we want the Brumbies to win that, but then that's going to give them a nice, kick out because we'll come to the games in a minute because I just haven't got them in my head. But yeah, so that's the table. If we have a quick look at players, as we just mentioned, Jorgensen is leading the way in the Player of the Year competition with 15 points. Got him in my fantasy team. Charlie Cale, I have him in my team from round 1. I thought, oh no, I'll leave him there. And he started off pretty slowly against the Crusaders, only to pick up 2 meat pies. So I was really happy there. And Tangatau, he will show his form, and he does score some great tries. But at the moment, I mean, as you mentioned, Takeahau is probably the form hooker at the moment. Lonergan, I was happy to have him in my team due to the fact Cameron went down and then Lonergan was doing the kicking, and I went, yay, until Edward came on, of course. But Tangatau is an interesting one for me. He's had some brilliant tries this season, but he's only showing glimpses like once or twice in a game. I'm sure you only need to do that once or twice in a game to win a game. But to me, there should be an all-round performance. Would I be wrong in saying that?
No, I think you've got a valid point. Yeah, he was a bit quiet on the weekend, but he just needs to back himself and go searching for work. He's got the skills to to do what he has to do, but I think Jamie Joseph has said he just needs to be himself, and he'll shine.
Yeah, no, definitely. And interestingly, I mean, they did have the bye in the first week, but it's interesting to see at the moment no Hurricanes there in the forwards. So the fantasy guys, they come out with their team of the week. Would you agree with that front row of Fuzzy Tua, Takiaho, and Slipper in the front row? I don't know about Fuzzy Tua, but
yeah. Can you just blow it up a bit for me?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yep, that's better.
That's better. But yeah, I think all in all, yeah, that's pretty good. I did change my pick for that loose head, I think, in my fantasy rugby, but I still got points from him. In the locks there, we got Josh Beer and Warner Durns. What did you think of Durns' first official hit out for the Canes at the stadium on Saturday?
Yeah, good. He's he'll slot in just fine. He's obviously an international cat player, so and he's tall. He's very tall and he's very mobile. He'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I noticed that as well. I took the punt on Braden Oice as my flanker, and that paid off well for me as well.
Mm.
As I said, Charlie Cale, I think he is one of the form number 8s around. But Tizano, he had not a bad game against the Blues, but he came out in the team of the week there on the other side of the scrum. But yeah, you've got to look. I know you've got to go with the teams that are winning. Jake Gordon, the number 1 scrum half for the week. I don't know. I thought Lonergan guided the Brumbies around a lot better. So why didn't he get a lot more points? You know what I mean? This is where I can't figure out this competition at all. Donaldson at number 10, losing for the Force. I think he probably only got there by default after Cameron went down because Perifetta and company missed a few things. That's an interesting 9-10 combination there. I probably, if we weren't working on their fantasy points, I probably wouldn't have gone there. In the centres, you had Pritchard and Proctor from the Canes. I thought Proctor had a good game. Pritchard, okay. I think that was his debut season for the Brumbies. And Callum Harkin, as I said, sure they've got him there at fullback, but he came on as first 5, and you can see the difference between him and Donaldson there. 103 points for Harkin and only 59 for Donaldson. So, I couldn't figure that one out. And then Fihi on the wing, he was going searching for the ball. I thought the Cane wingers were doing quite magnificent, really, hunting for the ball and trying it on. It's a shame that he's off to Europe end of the year.
There's a lot of players heading off. He obviously got Dallas McLeod and that fella there. And if you want to talk league, well, the breaking news of the day is Mitch Barnett's gone. So.
Oh yeah, well, go the Rabbitohs is all I say. Whoop, whoop.
I don't really follow the league anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that all starts in Las Vegas or something. But we'll look forward now to this weekend's games. As I said, we'll be back on Thursday with all the full team lineups, and in association with Franz Joseph Foursquare. I've got to keep throwing that out for our good friend Josh. But at Pukekohe, Pacifica will take on the Force. Early predictions here: Pacifica by 12.
Yeah, I think mine need to bounce back. I'll take them by 12 and over.
Yeah. Reds over there is Suncorp and taking on our mighty Highlanders. The Highlanders can travel. That is the good thing about the Highlanders. Once they get away from the limelight and Jamie Joseph gets them into a nice little, huddle. This is a make or break game for the Queensland Reds. They lose that and they're going to be fighting for the rest of the season. But as patriotic Kiwis we're both going to the Highlanders there by 12 and under.
12 and under?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go 12 and over.
Okie dokie. And then on Saturday afternoon, which is going to be great because it means, yay, I can sit back and have a few quiet raros between 4:30 and midnight. Because the Hurricanes are heading to Fiji to play the Fijian Drua. Tough ask. That's all I'm going to say, because we know how Fiji can play, even though Pacifica beat them. At home, it's rare for them to lose back-to-back games in Fiji, but I think it could be the time they do.
Where is it being played?
Good question. As I said, still awaiting those to come through. I can tell you in a couple of moments, caller. Where are we? Super Rugby. Here we go.
Sugar City.
Okay. Lautoka, Churchill Park.
Okay. Yep. No. It's hard to go over there and win, but I'm expecting the Hurricanes to march on and win by 12 and over.
Yeah, I think after their performance against Moana Pacifica, they'll be after the double against the Pacific Nations. So, and of course, with this up on the wall, there's only one way I'm going, isn't there? So, yeah, Hurricanes, 13 plus for me. Hopefully that doesn't turn around and bite us on the arse. At 7 o'clock, we've got the repeat of last year's final. Chiefs Crusaders at Hamilton. First hit out for the Chiefs at home. Wow. Is this the match of the round?
Yeah, definitely the match of the round. I'm picking the Chiefs by 12 and under.
I don't know why, but I've got a feeling this game might go to Golden Point. There we go. And it all comes down to who is the fittest, I reckon, at the end of it. And after watching the Crusaders get bashed around a bit by the Brumbies, I wouldn't be, thinking out loud that they won't be carrying a few niggles along the way. The Chiefs will want to sort of make a statement, and I think, well, they 24 out of 26 games won now, and the only games they've lost the finals. I'm going to go the Chiefs to win this 12 and under as well. There you go.
Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah. And then we can sit back and watch the Brumbies over there in cold Canberra hosting the Blues. And we said it earlier, didn't we? And we both think the Brumbies will take this out.
Yeah, if the Brumbies play like they did last week, and those midfielders get quality ball, they're going to be very hard to beat. I'm taking the Brumbies by 12 and over. Yeah,
and of course, I'll join that pack as well. So that is, as I said, our quick look at what happened in Super Rugby. Because, as I said, Tuesdays is more of a results and a quick look ahead. As I said, we'll be back on Thursday with the team lists. But Rugby Europe in Six Nations continues, and the Irish score a record win over the English, 42 points to 21, which sees them move up into third place in the world rankings. The French easily beat the Italians, but oh my God, what do the Welsh have to do? Do they have to sell their firstborn or something? Because they are not getting the rub of the green at all. They had their first win in God knows how many years. The Scots broke their hearts with 4 minutes to go, did they not?
Yeah, I really thought it might have been a game that the Welsh could have won, but the Scots come back and stole it from them. But yeah, it's good to see Ireland spoiling England's party. Obviously, Mario and Tosley had his 100th game and had his pretty cool pair of boots on, if I must say. But yeah, I think I picked England, Ireland in that game, but they were always going to bounce back.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting such a big score, but yeah, but pretty much, yeah, I was all the way as well. I had all three winners, but poor old Wales. I mean, I really, really feel for them. I see they're having an emergency general meeting coming up. They reckon the chairman's head's on the block, so that'll be an interesting one to see. And then if we have a look at the table there, I mean, they've got the week off this week because they changed their fixture rotation thing around a bit. Play 3 weeks and then week off and then play 2. So this game in Paris between France and Scotland, I believe, in a couple of weeks' time, well, winner chicken dinner, isn't it? Could the Scots go to Paris and beat them?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, anything's possible, isn't it? I thought, obviously the French thumped Italy last week, but yeah, no, nothing's ever guaranteed in the game of rugby. It's for real.
No, and just as a Kiwi, how good is it to see England in 4th place, just ahead of Italy and Wales, and Italy are only there because of point differential, which is even better. Yeah, good night, England. Swing low, sweet chariot, as they say. And in other results around, a couple of big upsets here in Rugby Europe, with Georgia defeating Spain 42-30 in the highest scoring game. The Belgians, the Black Devils, got up over the Germans 18 points to 3. Switzerland, huge win. We have posted on Rugby Redefined's Facebook page the full replay of this. A must-watch game. The Swiss got up over the Netherlands by 29-23. It was a humdinger of a match to watch. So head over to our Facebook page at Rugby Redefined and have a look at that. It is an awesome game to watch. And then the Portuguese annihilated the Romanians, and I did notice a couple of comments here about this. In 1996, so yeah, 30 years, and we're all celebrating 30 years, Romania beat Portugal 96-0.
Jeez.
Okay, that was 30 years ago. But Romania was also one of the top European nations, a bit like the Georgians and Spain are at the moment. But yeah, a massive turnaround. Portuguese rugby are flying high. Of course, they're off to the World Cup as well. But it's sort of like big one. But as I said, totally go and have a look at that game. Because I mean, it really upset this table a little bit because I mean, Switzerland are now on the points table, but pretty much out of it because they only got like one more game to play and then they into silly semi-finals or something. But Georgia and Spain are going quite well, remembering that both those teams are at the World Cup next year. And then we've got Portugal, and then, as I said, that big defeat by Portugal over Romania brought the Belgians back into play, and they were one game shy of making the World Cup. So that'll be an interesting matchup when I believe Romania and Belgium play off against each other. So, as I said, that is basically our results show for a Tuesday. So if you liked it, say, yeah, that's a good format. So because, as I said, we'll be back on Thursday at 11 o'clock New Zealand time with all the team lists for Super Rugby. But before we sign off, any club news from down the Canterbury way?
No, our pre-season kicks off next Friday at home, and we're hosting the Magpies from Temuka, and that's all I can report from our neck of the woods. Everyone's gearing up for middle of March, so be all systems go within 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah.
And it's also a case of it's not what you know, it's who you know. the superstars of the world of rugby are heading to Southbridge, are they not?
Yep. Yeah, Andy Ellis is confirmed as the guest speaker. Dan Carter's going to be there.
Wayne Smith.
Wayne Smith was going to be there. I thought Donnie Bell might have popped his head in there, but yeah, no, it's going to be good for the club. Obviously, have all those legends back. I'm not too sure. I don't think Andy Ellis played any club rugby for Southbridge, but Dan Carter surely did.
Yeah, no, they'll be all on the speaking tour bonuses, probably being paid for by Dan Carter as well to show up, because these guys don't just show up unless they've got a book to sell. So pretty much that's us for episode 7, and we'll catch everyone again on Thursday. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in a minute too, Mike, and we'll end the show. Catch us all later.
See ya.
See you all.